What if everyone jumped at the same time? This question comes from probably every kid who's ever stared out the window during a boring class and wondered what it would take to shake the planet. And the answer is, well, probably not what you expect. Let's imagine for a moment that every single person on Earth, 8 billion people, gathered in one place and jumped all at once. This raises immediate questions like, where would we all stand? The surface area needed to fit everyone shoulder to shoulder is around 500 square kilometers. That's roughly the size of Los Angeles, assuming people are packed like concert-goers waiting for Taylor Swift. So let's just teleport everyone to LA. Sorry, LA. Now, on the count of 3, everyone jumps. A sea of humanity briefly rises above the Earth and lands with a synchronized global thud. What happens next? Well, for one glorious moment, we'd feel united. 8 billion people acting together in perfect coordination. And then, almost nothing would happen. You see, people just aren't that heavy. The average person weighs about 60 kilograms. Multiply that by 8 billion, and you get 480 billion kilograms. That's a lot. That's more than every car on Earth put together. But Earth itself weighs 6 septillion kilograms. So when we all jump, the Earth doesn't even notice. It's like trying to push a mountain with a feather. You might nudge a few atoms, but the mountain is going to stay right where it is. That said, if you were standing nearby, it might feel like something happened. If everyone jumped onto the ground at the same time, the impact would create a shockwave, a very large one. It might be enough to crack pavement, shake windows, and seriously annoy local wildlife. People in the center of the jump zone could go temporarily deaf from the sheer sound of 8 billion feet slamming into the ground at once. There would probably be a detectable seismic event, a human-generated micro-earthquake. Seismometers might record a tiny blip, and bored geologists would briefly look up from their coffee. But the planet itself would shrug it off. It has bigger things to worry about, like plate tectonics and actual earthquakes. Still, the idea is tempting. What if we tried harder? What if, instead of a one-time jump, we all started jumping in rhythm every few seconds, like a bouncing wave of humanity? We could even choreograph it with music. It would be like the world's biggest flash mob, except geological. Over time, maybe, this rhythmic pounding would start to add up. Maybe we could generate enough vibration to weaken the ground. Maybe even shift a fault line just a little. And if we strategically place this human jump wave directly on top of a known seismic zone, say, the San Andreas Fault, could we trigger an earthquake? The answer is, possibly, but not the kind you're thinking of. Triggering an earthquake is a little like trying to burst a balloon with a hairdryer. It takes the right timing, the right pressure, and a lot of luck. But theoretically, if the fault line is already on the verge of slipping, and if our jumps happen to land in just the right way, we might be able to give it the tiniest push. Of course, this also means we would be personally responsible for Los Angeles collapsing into the sea, which could be awkward at international meetings. But why stop at Earth? Let's say we all gathered not just to jump, but to push in the same direction. Everyone takes a running start and sprints eastward. In theory, this would push the Earth westward, equal and opposite reaction, and all that. So how far would Earth move? It turns out, not very far. The total momentum from 8 billion humans sprinting at full speed might shift the planet by a fraction of a millimeter. That's enough to mess with an atomic clock or a NASA satellite, but not enough for you to notice. Still, we're determined. What if, instead, we all jumped in space? Imagine every human gets a personal spaceship. We all fly out to low Earth orbit, arrange ourselves like a massive sphere around the planet, and on the count of 3, we all jump away from Earth at the same time. Now that's a different story. This time, when 8 billion people push away from Earth, the planet does feel it, barely. Earth would get nudged ever so slightly in the opposite direction, like a tugboat pushing on an aircraft carrier. Over time, if we repeated this process many times, jumping off orbital trampolines or rocket shoes, we might actually cause Earth to drift. Not by much, of course. Maybe a centimeter every few million years. But still. And this leads to a final, terrifying idea. What if we didn't stop at jumping? What if we linked hands, formed a human chain, and began spinning like a planetary jump rope? Could we change Earth's rotation? No. But we might make an excellent viral video. In the end, jumping together won't crack the planet in half. It won't knock it off its orbit, but it might crack a few sidewalks, break a few records, and make one heck of a memory. Also, imagine the group photo. You see, part of what makes Earth amazing is its variety. Different cultures, languages, foods, music, traditions. They all come from the fact that we're scattered across so many different places. If we all lived in one city, that richness would flatten. No more road trips. No more wondering what life is like on the other side of the world. Because you are the other side of the world. It's just down the street next to the 400th McDonald's and the 5,000th identical apartment building. Also, think about noise. With 8 billion people chatting, laughing, arguing, singing, sneezing, and playing trombone, all in one place, the ambient noise level would be like standing inside a jet engine made of toddlers. You wouldn't need alarms. You'd wake up every morning from the sheer sound of human existence. And let's not forget natural disasters. Normally, if a hurricane hits one region, people from other areas can help. But if everyone is in one place, then a single earthquake, flood, or spicy burrito shortage becomes a global crisis. Eventually, people would leave. They'd pack up and move away to find space, silence, stars, forests, and places where you can hear yourself think. Bit by bit, the giant city would shrink. The pizza drones would calm down. The subways would clear. Nature would peek back in. And slowly, thankfully, the world would go back to what it always was. Not one massive city, but 8 billion stories unfolding all across a planet designed for sharing, not stacking.